Hello everyone, welcome to PUC Online Classroom. Today we are moving on to activity number 8. Okay, so number 8 is about listening, so you probably can just go to the listening audio that I sent to you so far, and then you can play and get the answer. Alright, so we have two parts, A and B. So your job is to answer to the question in part B. Okay, what is third concern about? So after finish listening, then you can move on to number 9. Okay, so number 9 right here is about take questions. So you probably have learned, but that's okay if you don't, it's still fine. Okay, so let's take a look at this a little bit before I explain you more details about take questions. So right here we have affirmative statement. Affirmative means positive statement or positive sentence plus negative take, and negative statement plus affirmative take. Taking means take question. Okay, so affirmative is positive sentence. So if the statement is positive, then the take question is negative. That is the opposite. If the statement is negative, then the take question is positive. Alright, so let me show you what I mean. Health insurance is really expensive, isn't it? So you can see right here is a positive, and then the take question is negative. Positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. However, this size, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. Okay, so on and so forth. So we have forms. If the statement is positive, then the take question is negative. If the statement is negative, the take question must be positive. Alright, hope you get that. But anyways, so let's go to the handout all together. So these are some kind of rules about take questions. So as you can see, affirmative statement, negative take, or positive statement, negative take, negative statement, affirmative take, or positive take question. Okay, so if it is positive, negative, positive, negative, okay, negative, positive. Okay, so hopefully you can find out what they are. Okay, so let's take a look at the example. It is hot today, isn't it? So we need to find out how do we use, you need to find out how we use take question whenever the statement is like this. So you need to change the sentence to the negative in order to find out the take questions right here. Okay, so because when you change negative, you know exactly need what is needed right here. Okay, so for example, that is, and then what is negative of is, isn't, and then you have to say isn't, and the subject is it, then you have to use it. So actually right here we need some kind of auxiliary verb and subject. So the negative take or the affirmative take, these two are, or let's say need some kind of auxiliary verb and the subject in order to form the negative or affirmative take. Speaks Chinese well. How do we know that doesn't he? Just change the sentence to the negative, so we can say he doesn't speak Chinese, right? So we know that we use doesn't. That is the reason the take question is doesn't he. Okay, so if this one the subject is she, then you have to change to she. Okay, you like football, don't you? Then the negative is you don't like, right? And this one, she can swim, then she can't swim. That is negative. Okay, the same thing for the negative and affirmative take or positive take. You don't need to change. Why? Just because it is already negative, we know the auxiliary verb that we should use in the take question. So aren't, see that, so are. So because this one is negative, then you have to use positive. Doesn't, we know doesn't, and we say does she. Okay, and hasn't, present perfect continuous, then we know that is has, so you say has she, he or she. Okay, this one is past simple, did. Okay, didn't, so that you can say did you. All right, okay, so hopefully you know the forms and you don't get lost with this kind of forms. Okay, so now that we have some more rules and notes. So let's go to A. Take question for I am. Is aren't I. So if you say I am a teacher, sorry, I am your teacher, then you say aren't I. You cannot say am not I. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because in English we don't have am not I like this, or we don't have am not I. The reason is that we don't have any shortcut, or let's say something like this. It doesn't exist in English, all right? And that is the reason we have to use aren't I, okay? And if somebody's write down something like this, are not I, okay? So you might feel like, oh, they are the same. Of course, they are the same in terms of the meaning, but the form, it is incorrect. So the take question must be in a shortcut, in a contraction, not a separate one. Okay, if you happen to see the same things like this, and one is the shortcut one and the other one is the separate one, then the separate one is the incorrect one. So it must be the shortcut or the contraction. Okay, hopefully you get what I mean. Right, so let's go back to this one. Uh, if we say doesn't, sorry, does not he, then it is also incorrect, everybody. So because you need to use doesn't, and this one is incorrect. Okay, this one is incorrect, so that you cannot use it. Don't try that. Okay. All right, so hopefully you get what I really mean, and now make sure that you don't use, if you happen to see this in exam with a full one, don't check that one, check the shortcut one. All right, doesn't he, not does not he. Okay, move on to B after imperative. Imperative can be positive and negative. Okay, we can use take questions, will, would, can, could. All right, so the sentence remain imperative does not require direct answer. Okay, so when you happen to see the imperative, a positive, negative, it doesn't matter. You can use all of these four. All right, but you might take a look at the politeness or the invitation. Sometimes switch on the light, will you? Okay, so some kind of polite request. Okay, so that you can use will you, you can use would you, can you, or could you. All right, the reason is that, can you switch on the light, can or could you switch on the light, will you switch on the light, things like this. All right, and we have, if it is an invitation, everybody, if it is an invitation, then we can use want. All right, but it doesn't have right here. Okay, if it is an invitation, okay, for example, you can say take a seat, want you take a seat. It's just like invitation asks you to take a seat. Okay, so if you happen to see this, you can use want you. All right, but anyway, let's stick to this forms. So we have will, would, can, could, so you can use whatever you want to. And they said right here, negative imperative, we use will. If it is a negative, we use will. Okay, only will. All right, only will. If you use would is incorrect, if you use can is incorrect because it is a negative. So don't try with a negative. So the negative imperative only be used with will. Okay, and for positive imperative, then you can try all of them, all the four. Okay, now let's go to C. Let, after let's means let us, we use shall we to make suggestions. So listen, let's listen to some music. So you can see right here, let's listen. So shall we? Okay, so in your exam you will see something like this, so make sure that you pick up the right answer. We use they in take question after somebody, everybody, nobody, no one, someone's, okay, everyone, um, whenever you see something like indefinite compound like this, somebody, someone, everybody, everyone, nobody, no one, let's say, what else I cannot think of. Okay, so when you see somebody, everybody like this, you have to use they. Okay, somebody told you, didn't. So somebody, they, and this one is positive, then we need to use the negative take. And look at the tense, it is past, then we have to use past. So we have to follow the exact tense. Okay, no one phoned for me, so that is a negative one. Of course, they don't use not, but they use no one. It is a negative, then the take question must be positive. And no one we use with they. Okay, so don't say he or she. So you need to say they, and this one is negative. The take question must be positive. Okay. E, we use it in take question after nothing, something, everything. All right. So when you see something like this, you have to use it. Nothing is a negative one, so you have to use a positive. Okay. Nothing is. If I say something is right, so something positive, and then you can say isn't it. All right. If I say everything is okay, then you can say isn't it. So nothing is a negative, everybody. All right, so last one, F, we can use there as a subject in take question. So there's the there won't be any problems. So there's the there, and negative change it to positive. Okay, so you will have this handout, don't worry. And if you have any question, once again, everybody, about take questions, don't forget to leave me a question in our Telegram group chat. Okay, so now let's go back to our lesson. So right here, I think you know what you have to do, right? And you also can get the right answer as well. So right here, what you need to do is to do exercise A using take questions, but you need to be careful. If it is negative, the take question positive, it is a positive, and the take question is negative. It must be opposite. All right. And why do we use take question? We just want to give more emphasis. We want to give more meaning. We just want to make sure with the question or with the statement that we, say. All right, the statement that we use. So that's it for the take question. All right, if you have question, feel free to ask. Don't worry about that, and I will answer to your questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye.